Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of congregational humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. Thank you for joining us.
Joy. Living love through the practice of joy. It kind of seems a cruel joke for this to be our theme this month now. There is a beautiful piece, maybe some of you saw. It was created during the pandemic by the Bangsons, a theater couple, Abigail and Sean. It was produced by Arena Stage in New York, and it's called My Joy is Heavy. Their deep, vulnerable wisdom inspires what I'm sharing with you today. Their show begins with them remembering in song back to a time when they thought they must have been through the worst of it. A miscarriage, chronic pain, depression, when they were at the bottom of the pit, only to find that they were wrong, so wrong. And they go on to share intimately of their life as they journey through a successful birth, but then the pandemic, and then another miscarriage. And they don't shy away from the very real heaviness and physical pain of feeling underwater and simply, moment by moment, hoping not to break the record for worst day ever. Now, their story is particularly poignant for us now when it seems that democracy is being stolen and as if the world economy is crashing, and as if we who are Americans are breaking all alliances and friendships, truly becoming ugly Americans. We must be at the bottom of the pit, must we not? Now, of course, humanity has been at the bottom of the pit many times. It's been portrayed in theater and film over and over. I think of the story of Fiddler on the Roof, for one example, about a family fleeing the pogroms of Eastern Europe in the early 1900s and facing not only loss of home, but loss of tradition and loss of life as they knew it. And through it all, sadness and loss and hope, they sing. Now, I know, of course, it's a musical, but they sing. They sing just as the Bangsons do about all of it, isolation and grief and possibility and love. They sing L'Chaim, to life. Humanity has been here before many times. Still, that doesn't change the fact that we are again hanging adrift in uncertain and scary times, anticipating that it's going to get worse while still hoping beyond hope for some light or change or relief, for some power beyond our own to step in and stop the madness. The Bangsons describe it as sitting on a threshold and praying, hanging between versions of a life, the life we have and the life we want. You've been there, right? And I think many of us are there right now. Not sure if the right response is hope or despair. Not sure if things are going to stay the same or improve or get worse. Pretty sure it's not possible to count on things getting better, yet seeing kind of glimmers of light that flicker and then disappear, kind of surrounded by all these broken pieces of the life we thought we were building up or had hoped to build, and living as if this, what we have now, is not really a life, certainly not the life we would choose. And yet, even in such moments, somehow we go on finding bits of happiness, adjusting our eyes to the darkness and our bodies to the onslaught, breathing, creating, resisting, protesting, maybe even singing a bit. And yet there is so much heaviness. I wonder if some of the heaviness we feel is because we can't find our solid ground. You know, there's so much worry and anxiety about what's going to happen, what next. Do we know or do we not know? Is there going to be destruction or salvation, happiness or not happiness? I wonder if the lack of control about what's next really makes everything heavier. And I wonder if things are heavy because we imagine that joy depends on always being happy. And that's not our true lived experience. Or maybe because we feel that if we're not focusing on the bad stuff all the time, then we're betraying our pain and our grief. Every day there is more unbelievably bad news, and we don't want to look away from that reality, nor should we. I wonder if sometimes we believe that what's hard will be with us forever, while imagining that happiness and joy are fleeting and elusive. And maybe because we've made a binary of happiness and sorrow, of darkness and light, we just can't allow ourselves to understand how it is that joy and sorrow, as Khalil Gibran has written, joy and sorrow are woven fine. They exist side by side. I wonder if some of the weight is because of the process of trying impossibly to protect ourselves from grief and despair, so much that we end up shutting ourselves down to the fullness of life. In other words, maybe some of the weight we feel is because we resist seeing that life is always both and will never be all one thing or the other. The Bangsons offer some advice from their experience, though not in so many words. They seem to ask, what if we actually believed that there were no prerequisites to being happy? What if we could see that all the joy we make is always with us and can't be taken away? And they ask, could we live as though we'll be all right, as if we are all right? Can we just be happy, even now? Can we live with joy in times such as these? I'm going to go off on just a tiny theological tangent for a moment, so stick with me if you can. I'm something of a student of process theology or process thought, which places change theory at its center. It acknowledges that everything, everywhere, all at once is always in process, that nothing is static. We never are, because we're always in the process of becoming. Now, one contested and much explored question within process theology is around the nature of God. Now, actually, that's a central question in every theology. But in process thought, it's because if all things are in process and always changing and being influenced, then whatever that concept means to you, God, even God, cannot be an unchanging or omnipotent entity. And so some have theorized that the nature of God is to be a container for all possibility. God is just everything that ever was or could be, including the hard stuff. All that is around us, within us, beyond us, whatever word you use for it. And I wonder if joy is something like that. I wonder if joy comes when we're able to hold everything we've experienced or will experience or could experience in one big, probably very heavy bag. And that joy is realized in our willingness to just live with it all, with all of it. Happy, sad, good, bad, easy, hard, tears, laughter, all of it. War, peace, violence, destruction, democracy, fascism, all of it. Maybe joy isn't about picking up the pieces and putting them together or being able to pick up the pieces we want. Maybe joy can only be found in the wholeness that is in the brokenness of all of it, and in just resolving to live and love through it all. Finding ways to live and love through it all. It's a worthy goal, to live and love through it all. It can be heavy, but the heaviness is not all there is. There is so much more to life. I don't know if the basket is still being passed around, but were you able to feel both the heaviness of all that was shared and the ways in which we, together, we the people, can help to hold it? Yesterday at the Hands Off event, and there was not just one event, they were all over the nation, all over the Twin Cities. But at the Capitol, a colleague leaned over and wondered why a protest so loudly focuses on all the stuff that's bad. Of course, it gets us fired up. But they ask, why aren't we also talking about what we want to build, what we want to happen in the world, and name our vision for and belief in a different kind of reality? And in truth, we need to do both these things. We need to resist, and we need to rebuild and vision. It's both and. Going to a rally to protest the tyrannical and heartless actions of this administration, and they're experiencing what Brene Brown calls communal effervescence. You know, we weren't laughing very much yesterday, well, except at some of the signs. But being together, even in these times, was joyful, deeply joyful. You know, I think it's in this way. Seeing the pain and doing what we can to alleviate it, we create the conditions for more joy. It's not so much in the actual change as it is in us choosing to engage in making it happen. We have the capability to lean hard on the arc of justice, the arc of inclusion and equity, the arc of kindness and love and decency. We contribute all the time to what it is that's in our bag of life, individually and communally. And it matters that we show up, even with tears in our eyes, even carrying heavy burdens. So one thing that we can do all the time, every day, is to help make this place, this First Unitarian Society, every community that you're part of, make it a sure and solid thing, something reliable, a safe space. Because I think that we can together create steady ports in a stormy time. Because then, even in the storm, we can dance, and we can sing, and we can hold one another. We gotta just keep doing what we can, taking one step and then another, knowing that whatever comes tomorrow, we'll deal with it with the same courage and resourcefulness with which we're meeting this day. You see, I believe that all the joy we've made, we get to keep. No one can take it away from us. We can call upon it any time, even when it's heavy. As Toy Delicate has said, joy is an act of resistance. Claiming our joy as a birthright, as inalienable, is to demand life in all of its fullness. So as you passed that basket, holding one another's burdens, I offer a final bit of wisdom from the Bengsons. There is a joy so heavy, so very, very heavy, a joy so heavy that it has to be carried by all of us. Just imagine that, all of us carrying joy together, living into our beautiful, heavy, and precious lives. May it be so.
Thanks for listening. You can find much more about humanism and what's happening at First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis by visiting our website at firstunitarian.org.